Hi everybody, today we are going to see how to install Opensips. Opensips is a SIP server that will allow you to build a very performant SIP server. You can make SIP registrar, SIP routers and proxies, SIP redirect server, and even back-to-back user agent server. In this today video, we are going to install it on a Debian 12 host, and we will use the apt packages built and provided by Opensips. So the steps are the following. You need to go on this web page. I will share with you the links, and you can see that there is the official Opensips apt repository. Opensips has many versions. What you should know is if you are looking for the LTS release, it's currently the 3.5. Even though the 3.3, for example, is a stable release, it's not the LTS release. So each version, 3.2, 3 or 5, 4, are considered stable after a certain criteria made by the developers, and once they are stable, some of them, usually the even version, are considered LTS, and there will be more support on this one. So if you're looking for stable, very stable release, I would currently advise you to go for 3.4. So it's what we are going to install today, the 3.4 stable LTS release, and on a Debian 12, so bookworm host. This web page provides us the next commands to execute, so we are going to execute all of them. Right, perfect. I execute them as a root user here, obviously. Once you did that, you now have access to the Opensips repository. So if you do an apt update, you should now see these new repositories. If you want the nightly release, you can change here, and it will change the repository that you are using. Once you did that, you only have to do apt install Opensips. By default, it will install many modules. Don't be scared. If it's the first time you are using Opensips, of course, many of these modules will not be useful for you, but it's no big deal for you to have them by default. They don't use that much space, and they will maybe be necessary for you in your Opensips SIP server implementation. Opensips is fully modular. You cannot do many things without modules. The core is mostly handling basic action on SIP messages. The whole logic of your SIP server will be available thanks to the modules. So once it's finished, now on Debian 12, your Opensips server should be up and running if you check its status with systemctl Opensips status Opensips. It's not started by default, so what we are going to do is we are going to check the config file that is built in. Okay, so there is the residential configuration script that is here by default. Maybe probably in the next video I will explain you how to configure your Opensips server. Right now what you have to do is leave it like this, and we should try to start it. If you want to enable it, so if you want it to start when you boot your host, you should enable it, and then we can start it. And it's up and running, and of course by default we see that it has forked into many other processes. So now it started. If you want to look at the full log, the journal ctl command is very useful. E to NU, E for single last logs, and U to filter on Opensips. And we can see that it's now starting. It's listening on your local host port 5060, so it's the default port for SIP on UDP. You see the version of your Opensips server, how many memories, shared memories and private memories the server is allocated. This memory is fixed, it cannot go beyond that. So this is something we will see in the next video of configuration. This is something very interesting and very important to check before going to production. And we will ignore these warning messages for now, and we can see that the Opensips server has started, and it says that it's very fast. So congratulations, it's installed.